This video, we're going to be talking about something more serious. What to do if you are laid off or fired. And this has happened to me before. Actually, I was fired from my first job as a business analyst. So at the point of when I was fired, I was good at doing the work, but I kind of had a bad attitude. And that was one of the major reasons why I was fired. And I also did not really get along with the main account managers. So, obviously, I took a lot of pride in doing my personal work, but the way I was coming across to other coworkers was not very good. So, at that time, I was definitely not, the happiest camper after I got fired. But, I've witnessed firings before. Actually, I was at a mall, and then I was, like, eating something, and then, these two guys were talking to this girl about how she was working at a different company, and they had a conflict of interest, and basically I heard the girl cry as they were, talking about it. And I definitely resonate with both ways of, being fired, because it's definitely not a pleasant experience. But, I think it's better that she cried, because that means, like, she cared a lot about the job. But at that point, I was just, like, I was not really into the job anymore, and I was just kind of like, well, okay, it was kind of meant to be anyway. It didn't seem like it was a mutual fit either. But, you know, um, right now, if you're watching this after you got fired, know that, things happen for a reason, and you are exactly where you are because you never know. There might be a different company that's a way better fit for you, right? And maybe this is a, call for you to maybe start your own thing or go find another job that's going to treat you better, that's going to pay you more, that's going to surround you with better people. And the next company that I applied for definitely had better people. So think of it as a learning lesson, right? So, just because you got fired once doesn't mean like you're blacklisted forever. It's just how you explain your firing. But the next thing, I definitely want you to like emote. If you feel like it's a job that was really important, it's definitely healthy to cry it out. I don't care if you're a guy or a girl. Careers are important to us. So I would say definitely feel the way you are right now. Give yourself maybe like a weekend to, kind of cry it out, eat some Cheetos, whatever, or like maybe a day or two just to recoup. Think about why you were fired, if there was anything that you could have done or you couldn't have done, or if you anticipate that you're going to be fired, have this conversation with your boss. But the second thing to do is actually start looking for other options, right? Because you are not just the situation where you are now. You are free to look for other places. And, a lesson learned from before your firing is to always be looking at new places. I mean, you're not obligated to one employer, and there's no really such thing as employee loyalty after like the 21st century, because any company can let you go, and you're free to go to any other company. It's mutual, right? So I would say, feel the devastation for a little bit just so you kind of get the lesson and you kind of bring some sort of, peace into your heart. Okay, so I cried about it. I thought about it a lot. This is what I should have done. This is what I should have done. And you're older and wiser for the next time that you're being hired. But the second thing is you can always be applying for different places, right? So you're an employer, you're an employee, so you can go anywhere you want. Watch out for the industry. Look to see if there are any other good openings. Because if you're a person who networks a lot, you will always know what company's coming up, right? It's not like, oh my god, this is the only one company I could have worked for my whole life. No. This opportunity, yes, and I said opportunity, it frees you up for a lot of different options, right? So if you always wanted to go to this bigger company with better benefits, now's the time to go, right? And if you've always wanted to, you're willing to take a pay cut but go to a company that you really enjoy, then this is also the opportunity, right? It's all in the way that you look at it. And I will say that being fired once is not going to blacklist you forever. It's just a way that you present yourself with a firing. And to be mindful that as an employee, your fate is pretty much in the hands of the people who hire you. So this is something you want to keep in mind. So you might want to think about, being rubbing shoulders with the right people. This is something that is not politically correct to say, but certain people's influences are more important than others, and that's what I learned from my hiring and firing, not firing, firing experience. And third, I would say just to be somebody who can get recommendations from the previous company, so you can use those recommendations to find a better job, right? If you can't find a recommendation, then you know to build your network, right? Because the lesson at the end of the day is always to build a network and to have more opportunities, because your employer is just your employer. You're not supposed to depend on them solely. You should be somebody who's watching out for yourself. So if you've been fired recently, don't worry. Not everyone, people have been through it and they've come out better and stronger. So, as long as you don't accept yourself as some sort of defeated person, it's just a temporary setback, right? You're going to bounce back up and you're going to do better things. I was fired as a business analyst, and then I became a career coach, employed on my own to help other people find jobs. And so things turn out, the way that you don't really expect to. But always, now you're going to be better equipped because you know what it's like to be fired. So if somebody else is fired, you can actually help support them, right? And it actually makes you a better and stronger person to support others. So if you've been fired, just know that you are not alone, but you can always uplift yourself to something better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.